Captain Steve Mull. What's the purpose of starting Catfish Academy?
Well, it all came about when I came back from a fishing trip in Alaska. And I've been around trout fishing and fishing with fly rod since the 70s. In fact, I got fishing before it became fashionable. And when I say that, there wasn't anybody on the streams, and I didn't have anybody to fish with. So I taught a lot of my friends um, about this sport. But I came back from Alaska, and I just brought my fly rod down here, and I had a clouser on. And actually, it wasn't a clouser; it was tied with rabbit hair. It's called a carcass pattern. And what happens when the salmon go upstream, they die, and the rainbows come up, and they actually eat the flesh. So it's a flesh pattern. So I had that on, and I just started casting out and stripping it back through, just not expecting really to catch anything. And I caught a catfish, and I probably caught three or four this way. And I said, well, a catfish will hit a fly. So that's probably what interested me and got me started on this Catfish Academy, because I realized you could catch a catfish on a fly rod. That was probably almost 20 years ago that I've had this academy.
Question number two is what's the biggest catfish you've caught on a fly rod?
The biggest one I've caught is a 22-pound blue channel cat, and it about caught me because I was in my backing before I knew it. So I really kind of thought I had a striper, not a catfish, because it ran so far out, and I'm in my backing, and there was a buoy out in the center of the cove, and I knew that it was going to go wrap around that, and I was going to lose it. But I managed to keep side pressure on him and turned his head a little bit, and I got him back over here. Still not even close to coming to the pier yet. I mean, he was that strong, and I really did think it was a striper, and I was hoping. But as I got it closer, he finally showed himself, and I could see it was a big blue catfish. And I was by myself, so I had to not only manage the fish. As soon as I got the catfish close to the dock here, even though that long run, he wanted to come under it. And that's if they go under it, because I've got a lot of brush and stuff under there, they'll usually get away. So I had to walk over here. I wasn't prepared, and get my net, keeping the fish out here, and get the net and netted it. And that's the biggest one I've caught, 22-pound blue cat. That's not your average size though.
What's your favorite thing about fishing on a fly rod?
Oh, I think possibly that sport requires some knowledge, a lot about presentation, um, and I'd say probably 95% presentation, because you can't have drag in your line. You got to have a free float. Yeah. Sometimes you need to match the hatch, but usually a trout will take a fly if they see it, if it's presented properly and not dragging through the water. So you're kind of stalking the whole time you're fishing. That is usually the streams around here on the pocket waters and stuff. Now we do have some tailwaters that you fish a little differently. It's more like a western stream but it's certainly my favorite, um, and I've been doing it a long time.
Um, Fourth and final question: what's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
The biggest fish I've ever caught would have to be out of the Atlantic Ocean. It was a blue marlin, and it was over 500 pounds. Unfortunately, we weren't fishing the big rock. Had we been fishing the big rock, we may have got in some money, because that's the size you're looking for to boat one. This particular marlin, I was in the chair for probably 2.5 hours, which um, because it didn't hit a big reel, it had to hit the smaller reel, and so I had to just keep pressure on him the whole time. Boat captain was good. He kept kept backing down and helping me out a little bit on it, but it fought for a long time. Normally, I've caught probably 20 5 blue marlin, and that was certainly the longest one and the biggest one. But usually you can handle a blue marlin in less than 30 minutes sometimes. I mean, depend on what the captain does as far as backing down, helping you get the line in. But you got to keep that rod tip up, and you can't give them any slack. If the captain starts throttling, you better be cranking. That's all I can say, because if you're not cranking, he's gonna get off.